G'day. If you're watching this, I've uploaded it to YouTube, obviously. Someone's just asked me about adding the pill to the Rapt temp controller and getting it to work. I haven't done it before. This is my first time. Let's have a go. So you can see here, this is a temp controller here. It is set up already to my internet. And this is a pill I've only just pulled out of a fermenter. I've just leaned it up against my headphones there. So it sits on an angle and hopefully it doesn't turn off. But they're not linked together at all at the moment. What I also have going is the right screen, right hand side. This is my Rapt fridge, and the green and the yellow is the pill that's actually sitting next to me. It's just been through a ferment, and you can see the cold crash, that green line. Now the way you hook it up, if you don't know, once your pills, you register it to the Rapt site. Your pill's there, and you can go in to the edit and you can pair it to the device. So it's paired at the moment to my Rapt fridge, which is Homebrew Network 01. Now, as you can see, that's another pill, that over it, which is in the stainless steel fermenter in the garage, but it was having issues connecting. So I'm not sure. Yeah, it's not working well because it's in the stainless steel fermenter. But we'll be able to fix that hopefully soon with the Bluetooth update. Anyway, I'm getting sidetracked. What we're trying to do is get the Rapt controller, temperature controller, into here and try and hook them up together, the pill and the Rapt temp controller. Now, this won't have the Bluetooth update yet though. Maybe we should do that first. That's probably a good idea, isn't it? So what I'll do is I'll go back to my main screen here and we'll undo this and make sure it's updated. Got my phone charger here and we'll hook it up to the phone charger. Let's put it down on the desk down here. And what we'll do from memory is we hook up to it via Wi-Fi. So if we go back over to my, what have I got there? It is right screen over here, and just re-recorded this little bit. I realized my head was over the internet bit, what I had to do. See, my internet is connected to the Ethernet usually, to my modem, and I have to turn that off to be able to use Wi-Fi properly. So I'll go into my internet settings and advanced network settings, and I just disable my Ethernet for a while. But this allows me easier for me to use my Wi-Fi, which I just left click on there and I can see the Wi-Fi is there, and that's the Rapt pill that I want to connect to and get into the settings. Once I click that and connect, you don't want it connected to the computer when you do this. You got to connect it to a charger or some other device. You don't have it connected to the computer. And there we go, we're in. Back to the video. Rapt connect. All right, we're into the settings of the pill. There's the unicorn glitter. That's the internet it's connected to, which is my daughter's one out in the lounge room. And I don't need to register. We won't go into diagnostics. What's that going to show us? I can't remember where the update is. Is it calibrate? Oh, yeah, it is down here. Check for new firmware. Check for new firmware. Downloading new firmware update. There you go. Says that at the top. OTA update done. Restarting. You can see it there. There's not much to see. It is down here. Oh, you can just see the light flashing up the top up here. There. Down here. It says restarting. Come on, it's taking a long time to restart. But as long as the update's done, I guess you can just unplug it and put it back in if it's going to hang. Take a long time to restart. Reboot device. Right, so we rebooted and we go back into, we've lost connection to it because we rebooted. Maybe I should unplug it. Enable. I'm just going to unplug it. I've probably mucked it. Unplugged it and plugged it back in. There we go. I thought we'd lost everything then. Pop, bang, it's back. Good. So, aha, that's it. There's an extra setting. Extra setting down here, I think. Can I make that bigger? Down the bottom, there's registration, settings, diagnostics, and calibration. Maybe not. All right, so we're back. Made the screen a bit bigger. And we'll go into diagnostics and see now. I'll just check for new firmware to make sure that firmware update did work. Checking for firmware update. Firmware is up to date, so we're up to date. That's good. I don't need to test it and send telemetry because I know it's working. Let's go into calibration. Oh, settings. That's where I wanted to go, not calibration. Settings. Wi-Fi interval is 15 like I do it, but interval Bluetooth. See, Bluetooth mustn't be switched on yet. How do we turn Bluetooth on? Settings. Aha, up the top here. There it is. Bluetooth. We switch it over to Bluetooth. Bluetooth telemetry. We don't need it every 1 minute still, do we? So we'll leave it at default for now. Okay, so that means we should be set up to be Bluetooth. Now I've got to try and connect it to the Rapt controller, which I'm sure is not done here. It's probably done through. Yep, so we'll disconnect from here. I'll unplug it and plug it and put it back in to here. I like putting the clear end where the light is, so you can see it easily. Yeah, that doesn't really matter, I don't think. Done her up. Put it back down here on the table so it's at an angle and doesn't go to sleep, hopefully. There we go. Temp controller. So I've got to connect back to the internet properly, turn my Ethernet back on. Internet's back on, so we can go back over to over here. There we are. So what we need to do is get the temperature controller here. And if we go up to here, the top of the screen here, can I make this screen a bit bigger? Add new device and temperature controller. And let's go. Connect your temperature controller. I don't know the MAC address of my temperature controller. I guess it's in the temperature controller though. So over in the temperature controller, I should have left it down there. In the temperature controller, this is going to be hard to do from here. So I'm in settings, enable Wi-Fi. This will enable Wi-Fi. Doing this will restart the device. So press enter. Let's connect the device to the internet using your phone to connect to the Wi-Fi network using the password So we'll go back over here. I've got to turn my Ethernet off again. Sorry, I had to move myself out of the way. I just realized you couldn't see what I was doing. So I'll go into my Wi-Fi settings and connect to Kegland Rapt, but I need the password off the Rapt temp controller. Next, that should connect us to the temp controller. There we go. No, this one here, Unicorn Glitter, and I've got to get the password. What's the password? I'll be back with the password. I've got the password for the kids' router. Join. A little bit, it's going to work. I thought it was at the other end of the house. I wasn't sure. Okay. So that's really all we need to do in here to the temp controller. Now it's connected to my Wi-Fi network. So we can close that. And go back and put my proper internet on. Internet's back on. We can go back into this Hang on, just refresh it. We'll look at this and we'll go back into at the top and we can go register device. There's the MAC address and there's the validation code. Go back here, add new device, add temperature controller, just press next. There's the MAC address and the validation code. That's what I need to add. So, excuse me while I turn that around. There you go. I'm just jumping in, cheers, to the video again because that attempt failed. The MAC address wouldn't work and the passcode wouldn't work. And what I realized, I thought, oh, what if the Wi-Fi is not working? I better check it. And then I went, oh, update. I hadn't updated the temp controller. I thought it might have updated when we connected to the internet automatically, but it hadn't. So back to the video. Cheers. And look, I could have edited this video so everything went perfect, but it didn't go perfect. So you see the truth here. Cheers. Well, if I check for an update, that'll tell me if it's connected to the Wi-Fi. Checking for an update. Downloading new update. There you go. It's downloading an update. So it is connected to the Wi-Fi. Maybe it needed that update. Maybe it needed an update. Update. Done. Restarting. Now we're going to try and register it again. This is still saying it's unregistered. So register device. And there's the MAC address and the code I need. Go back into the right screen. We'll try again. Add new device. Temperature controller. Next. Stick in the MAC address. Address and validation code. Keep in mind these codes change. It's the same with the pill. So if you're mucking around and you haven't realized you've changed your validation code, yeah, you won't be able to register. So you have to go back and get a new validation code. Temperature details. There we go. And beer fermentation and finish. Now hopefully, there we go. That's what it needed. It needed an update. Once I updated it, it went straight away. Connected. And if we scroll down here, if it's not here, we'll have to refresh. Go for pill 1 over at HBN. Let's refresh the page. There it is there, temp control. Did I miss that before? There it is there. So there's the temperature controller. We're now connected to the Rapt and we can do everything we want from here. As in settings. There's all your settings for the temp controller. I'm not going to go through this now. It's the usual settings for things. Might stick it to 15 minutes, telemetry frequency. Save. That's the pill we want, and we want to hook that pill up to the temperature controller. Now the pill's set to Bluetooth now, but we should still be able to talk to it from here. Paired device, HBN temp control, save. So now the hydrometer should be connected to the temp controller. Refresh the page just to see what's happened. There we go. And now the temperature controller. It's actually got the memory of the past ferment as well, which is interesting in a way, isn't it? But what we want to do now that the pill's reading to the temp controller is have a look at the temp controller. And I'm going to go through the settings quickly. At the top there, it says temperature sensor built in. Let's go into that and see if it goes up, down to change value. And now, the reason I couldn't find any other thing to set it to is because I hadn't enabled Bluetooth. So you got to go down and enable Bluetooth here. Now Bluetooth's enabled. So now there's a Bluetooth option there on the start screen. We'll go into that. And here it says bonded devices and unbonded devices. So I'm guessing if we press bonded on enter on that bonded unbonded device, it's asked if I want to bond that device. And we'll go yes. And so now it's bonded. Now the Rapt pill here is bonded to the temp controller. Okay, that took about, I don't know, 30 seconds or so. I took my eye off it and the temperature started changing. Now I'm guessing it's because the pill's in my pocket and warming up. I thought I'd put it somewhere a bit warmer than on the table so everything wasn't the same temperature. And this is the actual temp probe of the temp controller. And I'm going to whack it in some, there's a cup of water there. You can't really see it. And I'm going to whack it in the water. And that should drop down really fast if it's... That is that one. So, no, I thought that was connected. It's not connected. Let's go. Oops, just fell out of the water. Let's go back into settings and have a look. Bluetooth, we're bonded to the pill. We're still set on temperature sensor built in, and that's the one that's what we don't want, is it? Ah, there we go. Now it's changing. Rapt pill temperature sensor. That's what we want. Now the temperature sensor is the Rapt pill. So that's 28. Look, it's in my pocket and it's got the reading. Now we're targeting 14.9. So what if we set the target was 35, and we'll see if it turns into a heating, goes into a heating thing. So we'll turn the target up, over 28. As long as it's over 28, see if it's working. 35. And that's gone red up here. Instead it was blue a second ago. There will be a time factor here though, before it switches between hot and cold. When you hear the relay switch over. I think it was 2 minutes. I think I saw it set to in there somewhere. I haven't really played with it. But if we go back, wrong button. If we go back down under 28, can't see what I'm doing. That red, I think, will turn to blue. Yeah, all the heating thing's gone. From the top, built-in different override. See that 13.2 is what this temperature probe is saying, I'm guessing. So if I hold that temperature probe, the built-in temp will go up over here. Yeah, built-in's going up. But we're actually setting the fridge by using the pill. So there we go. So that's working now. Of course, there's all different other settings you can play with. I'm not going to go through everything now. But we're set up and we're working via the pill. And that's the main thing. So that was a quick rough and ready video, but I hope I got the message across, and it saves me typing out messages all the time to tell people how to do it. So thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, share if this helped you, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.